we go. So now get this live started. Okay. We live, y'all. Getting it started. My jacket off. All right. Get the thing in. Shit. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station. I'm your host and third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs. Yes, we are Facebook Live. I'm trying to get the camera set. Don't worry, I got you. Wait a minute. All right. Now, let's just get right to it. I am not going to say a whole lot about the vice presidential debate. For the most part, I found it really boring. There were some moments of amusement between Pence and Kamala Harris. All right. Now, what was interesting is I followed some Facebook comments as this was going on, as the debate was going on. And, it's something how I guess people see what they want to see based on their own feelings, I saw one guy who was on there and he's, oh man, she is losing bad and Pence is just tearing her up and what have you. And I was looking, I was like, dude, are you watching a different debate? Because I'm going to tell you straight out, I don't even like Kamala Harris. But she wiped the floor with Pence's ass, especially with some of those expressions she was making. And that was highly recognized on Facebook. Some of the expressions she was making. It was like, that expression your mama would make when you were sitting there lying to her? And she would just sit there and look at you to see how far you was going to go. Yeah, she was making some of those expressions. In spite of what she claims and her heritage and what have you, you can't hold that black thing down. That's just in her. I know she's, of course she recognizes her East Indian heritage and what have you. Her mother is East Indian, her father is Jamaican. But like I said, that black thing, you can't hold that thing down. All right. So, she's a black woman and that comes through. In spite of her chameleon. Well, anyway. Now, one of the things that stood out during that debate was this right here. They had back and forth about stacking the Supreme Court. And this was something, did you understand what Harris said? Trump, the orange disaster, packed the lifetime appeals court with appointments, without one single African American. That's how you ensure the perpetuation of systemic racism. That's how you make sure that it goes on. As you know, I am a student of history, and it's something that I think that we don't pay enough attention to as a people. A couple of things I'm gonna get to here. All right, yep, I got it right here. And like I said, that's how it's perpetuated, by making sure that laws are in place to keep us down. Some people would say, well, no, because we had the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. Remember, they gutted the Voting Rights Act. And it was not a law, it was an act that had to be renewed. Was it every 4 or 5 years? And as soon as the Republicans got in power, that ended. They took it to the Supreme Court and they got it, like I said, they gutted it. They gutted it. Those states where they had to be monitored as far as voting of black people went, now they're getting away with murder. Take some of the southern states, Mississippi, Alabama, what have you, Georgia. What they have done is they've closed polling places anywhere near black people, and you have to go miles and miles away from home just to cast your vote. These are the things they do. And like I said, you got to look at the history and understand something. That even as we speak, our history is constantly being stolen, mythologized. Pardon my grammar here this morning. And to justify slavery, whites portrayed blacks as subhuman, primitive, stupid, and servile. With none of those things. To justify segregation, whites portrayed blacks as morally corrupt, ignorant, predatory, and sinful. Now, who's more morally corrupt than the people that look to subjugate another people? Who's more morally corrupt? Predatory? Are you kidding? You know what's predatory? Predatory is when you go to someone's homeland and steal them and force them into servitude. Predatory is when you see someone making economic advances and you attack them by destroying their businesses, lynching their community leaders and businesses, and that's predatory. After the civil rights, whites portrayed blacks as evil, drug addicts, gangbangers, and welfare queens. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what they did. The first gangs in America were gangs like the Know Nothings and the Nativists or whatever they were called. These were white gangs. And of course the Irish gangs. It was long before black people got involved in gang life. When black people did start, for instance, the Crips and Bloods, it was for protection from the marauding whites. You talk about welfare queens? Another mythology. First of all, there are more white people, and there are more whites on welfare receiving government assistance than anybody else. You take Owsley County in Kentucky. It has one of the highest rates of food stamp enrollment in America. It is 98.7 white and overwhelmingly Republican. Remember this when you hear someone on the right wing say that food stamps are only for liberals and welfare queens in the big city. No, it's not the case. Good morning, Dad. Glad you're watching. Let me give you a wave over here on Facebook Live. All right. There's never been a point in American history when whites have systematically and institutionally valued black lives as they do their own. And that's why we say Black Lives Matter. And when I say Black Lives Matter, remember, I say the slogan, not the organization, because the organization is corrupt and shaky. Actually, we don't need a whole lot of hashtags. Like I said, and why I say the organization was shaky, if you're an open-eye listener, you're well aware of why I say that. Because what went from a slogan was adopted by three ladies, and though it shouldn't matter in this day and age, you can't criticize someone for who they decide to be with, but these three ladies were three lesbians. And they took the Black Lives Matter slogan and formed the organization. And they got grants and they got donations. And they had an agenda. Because part of their agenda was to feather their necks, was to get a bag, was to get some money. And they did that. But another part of their agenda was to push and promote their sexuality as something equal, the fight to practice their sexuality as something equal to the survival of black people. No. What LGBT people are fighting for is the right to practice a lifestyle. What black people are fighting for is survival, is the right to live. Big goddamn difference. Big difference. And then you look at their, what do you call it? I don't want to say their manifesto, their organizational rules or whatever, not rules, their organizational goals. I guess it is manifesto or whatever. But you look at that, and it talks about everything about except the black family. See, they have even been pushing this all Black Lives Matter. And that's in support of transgender, homosexuality, lesbianism, whatever. Not only that, but they adhere to this toxic black masculinity idea. And this is the idea that if you're a masculine black male, you're toxic. And that's why I say Black Lives Matter, the slogan, not the organization. Yeah. We have to look at what we're doing here. Who we allow to step up and start speaking for us. Yeah. Like I said, there's some things about our history that, we need to really learn from. And yesterday I was talking to, excuse me, some ladies from the community, which I would call some village queens, a couple of village queens from the community, who are very concerned, about the violence in the community, which we all should be. The violence amongst our young people in the community. Excuse me, but Facebook Live friends, trying to get this thing straight. What's up, Brother Vaughn? Yes, we should be very much concerned about the violence in our community because it's going on. And not a whole lot is being done to address it, not by the powers that be. These grassroots people out here, like these two village queens, are making plans to address the violence amongst our young people. They're doing all they can. And the thing is, you have to understand the causes of violence and what the violence is and why it takes place. One of the things that I learned during my involvement in the fight against violence amongst our young people is that it's a contagion. Now, what that means is that the violence is contagious. If some young black man gets killed over here on the east side, and it's believed by his friends and family that he was killed by someone on the west side, they're going over the west side and shoot. So see, the violence is contagious. And what has to be done is you have to catch the violence on the front end before it takes place, before people get involved in it. In order to do that, you have to have an understanding of the causes of the violence. I could go very deeply into that, but I will start here. Poverty breeds crime. That's a known fact. Crime breeds violence. Another factor that one of the ladies pointed out is that we don't know who we are. Our young people don't realize and understand who they are. Marcus Garvey said, "Black folks, teach your children that they are direct descendants of the greatest and proudest race who ever peopled the earth. And it is because of the fear of our return to power in a civilization of our own that may outshine others, because it will. It is of that fear why we are hated and kept down by a jealous and prejudiced contemporary world." This is from the wisdom of Marcus Garvey. Now, you got some people who want to fantasize our history. We don't need to do that. Our history is glorious. Like Marcus Garvey said, we are direct descendants of the greatest and proudest race who ever peopled the earth. Now, you got some people, like I said, who want to fantasize our history. It's unnecessary. For instance, you take a look at the map, the supercontinent Pangea, when the world's great land masses were joined together. Well, Pangea broke apart, and I've heard black people say that this explains how the various black peoples of the world became scattered. The problem with this theory is that it occurred tens of millions of years before humanity appeared in the world, and therefore has no relevance. Second of all, it denies that our ancestors had the genius, perseverance, tenacity, and spirit to engage in migration and exploration. Forget Pangea. We're better than that, y'all. All that talk of Pangea should have been trashed a long time ago. It's nonsense. It's non-factual, and it's insulting to our black people. And yes, I will definitely talk more about who we are. Joining me in the studio, Is my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma.
Yaga,
Wagwan, brother. Wagwan. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? All right, all right.
Yo, you know your boy.
Yeah, it's on here. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to keep this camera straight.
Right, you 17, John.
Yeah.
I know the cameraman.
Yeah, we're supposed to get something because the wire is short. That's the length of it right there. Can't go no more further than that.
So you want to get a good? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Live radio, y'all. Catch a little behind the scene action. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Yeah, just put it on you because that's a joke.
Okay.
Boom.
All right. Yeah, that's it. Yes, indeed. The overnight is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Wait a minute, let me get my disclaimer up here, y'all. Okay. Founders and builders of the Pearl Center, the veteran-specific apartment building, Delaware Center for Homeless Vets.
Yeah, yo, what's good? You know what's up. We about to drop some signs on y'all. Rodney, what's happening? G said, yo, we saying what's up. We waving to everybody. We doing what we do. Let me invite a couple people real quick.
All right. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Some more things that I get to here. All right. You know, every black child in grade school is taught that Adolf Hitler killed 6 million Jews and is the worst human being that ever lived. On the other hand, our children are taught that the Right Honorable Cecil Rhodes, founder of the De Beers Diamond Company in South Africa, who killed 10 times that number of Africans, is a statesman. And if they study hard and do well in school, they may be eligible to win the Rhodes Scholar, the oldest and most celebrated international fellowship award in the world. They don't mention that award is paid for with the blood of our ancestors.
Nah, they never do that.
No. You know? Never do that.
But it's
Hey,
time for us
Teresa.
to recognize that they need to do that.
Yes, they do.
They need to do that.
Yeah. Because
every time they say something that's pertaining to history that we're involved in, we need to insert that after the fact that they say what they say.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because, oh my goodness. You know, I didn't have the mics on. Sorry about that, Joe.
Okay.
Like you said, you know, they need to do that because what we're taught is that Hitler is some kind of aberration.
Right.
You know, that he is something unusual from Europe. Okay. Well, you have Cecil Rhodes, like I just mentioned, who was killed tens of millions in South Africa.
Right.
You have King Leopold from Belgium, who killed millions in the Congo. You know, Hitler. Let me get this here because I got it. You know, I write it down.
Right.
I write it down. That's where. Where I got this at because something I found out in my studies.
Right.
Is that Hitler, who is considered the most evil man in modern history.
Yeah.
The history books tell us that he was a deranged madman, a murderous freak of nature. Europeans will have you believe Hitler was, like I said, an aberration. Well, consider this. Hitler studied America's murder and oppression of Native Americans and blacks to learn how to subjugate and murder Jews.
I mean, they had to get the technique from somebody.
Yeah. How about that?
You know,
how about that?
I'm like, yo, how can one race think they're powerful than another race? That's just, even that. I mean,
Dude.
Everybody got their opinion. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way the world.
That's the way of the world.
Yin and the yang.
Yin and yang, yeah. You know, we're gonna cover some more of that later.
Yeah.
But we got to get to some of the stuff that's going on. You know, and I know some people are like, man, why y'all always bringing this stuff on? Because it keeps going on.
I mean, it ain't us, it's the news and what's happening.
And what's happening,
I mean,
right?
if it's relevant to what's happening right now, we are on it. It ain't, we're not talking about the past and a lot of the things that we say. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, we're talking about what's going on right now.
Right. And what's happening to us right now.
Right now. It's trooper and state trooper in Louisiana said he beat the F out of a black man. It was in the leaked video. So he beat the F out of him.
Now what's all that for?
Yeah, because you know the man died. Now they try to say it was offender. He died in the car accident.
He said he beat the F out of him.
Mm-hmm.
That means he murdered him.
Yeah.
And
he didn't just say he beat the F out. He said he beat the ever living F out of him.
So he beat the living. He beat the living out of him. He killed people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta listen to what he's saying.
And he said he choked him and everything.
He go brag to their buddies. I mean, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Who's going to be held liable?
Responsible.
Yo, listen.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff make my hair stand up on my, you know.
Oh, I feel you.
But it's cool.
Now, have you heard of Jonathan Price?
Jonathan Price? No, not really.
Jonathan Price was a brother that, you know, was very much in support of the police.
Right.
Okay, you know, he's a black man. And he's all lives matter. He didn't like that Black Lives Matter thing.
Right.
All lives matter. I support the police. And oh shoot, I just covered up the camera. What did I do with? Oh, there it is now. I support the police. live radio, y'all. I support the police, and if black people would just comply with the police and do as they are told and be law-abiding, these killings from the police wouldn't happen. That's what he said.
I mean, unless you really a person of color and experience this stuff firsthand, you really wouldn't understand how it is and what type of level of life-threatening position that you're put in when you're dealing with these authority figures. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a very, very serious situation. It's way more serious than a white woman getting pulled over or a white male or especially a white young male getting pulled over. It's a very big difference. So,
big time.
Yeah.
So you would think that a black man, Jonathan Price being a black man,
right,
will understand this. You would think he would understand this and not be running around talking about all lives matter and blue lives matter and support your police and stop all this talk about the police being corrupt and all that.
I mean,
that sounds crazy coming from a black man.
Not really, because like I said, he may not have an experience with some of us. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you have to really know when stupidity kicking in to, you know, reality.
Right.
Now, you see your brothers and sisters getting hung by these people or whoever it may be, but yet you say it's okay. When next it could be you. You're the one up next. I'm not understanding the logic in their thinking. That's what make them gullible to me. Like they playing gullible or they just acting gullible because you can't be that gullible. You know what I'm saying? Right. No.
So on 8:30 last Saturday, Wolf City police officer Sean Lucas responded to a disturbance call at a local convenience store about a possible fight in progress. Officer Lucas made contact with 31-year-old Jonathan Price, who was reportedly involved in the disturbance. Family members say he was trying to break up a domestic violence fight between a couple. When Officer Lucas attempted to detain Price, the Texas Ranger said Price resisted in a non-threatening posture and began walking away. Officer Lucas deployed his taser at Price and then shot him. Price was taken to a hospital where he later died. Irony or something else, ain't it? The preliminary investigation,
Hold up.
Yeah.
He said he tased him and took him to the hospital.
And shot him.
Oh.
He tased him, then shot him.
Oh, okay.
You know? Now, the preliminary investigation indicates that the actions of Officer Lucas were not objectively reasonable. The Texas Rangers charged Officer Lucas with murder and booked him in the jail the following Monday. Attorney Robert Rogers, who defended Amber Guy in her murder trial, remember Amber Guy, who ran up in her neighbor's apartment and murdered him, is now defending Lucas. Contradicting what the Texas Rangers and multiple witnesses says, Roger claims Price tried to take Lucas' taser away. He was walking away after Price refused repeated instructions and physically resisted. Officer Lucas deployed his taser. This is according to his lawyer. You know, and then only discharged his weapon in accordance with Texas law. Now, what they're not telling you is he shot the man in the back. Man had no weapon. Man was not a threat. He resisted in a non-threatening manner. And the cop shot him. So be careful when you're out there shouting as a black person, all lives matter, blue lives matter, comply with the police. Because irony is as bad as karma.
No, I'm like this. What about when they become the threat for real? What will happen when these black people become the threat for real? I mean, when we become the threat for real. We're not a threat right now because we're not even fighting back. We cooperating, and they still look at us as a threat and killing us. Now, when we start retaliating and reacting and becoming the real threat that they saying that we are, what's going to happen, man?
Well, you know, it's wholesale murder now. You know,
and we ain't a threat.
And we ain't a threat.
Right.
So, which adversary is going to step up to kill him? Because if we actually do fight back, is that going to back them down? Or are we looking at a civil war?
I mean, it has to take a fight to get a person off your neck. Period.
Yeah.
If they're on your neck and they holding you down, that's what they want to do, and they've been there for 400 years. That they are not moving unless you're fighting.
Right.
You have to stand up and fight for yourself and stand on your own 2 feet. Period. So once you do that, and once you become the man or woman that you claim to be, you will never let no one step on your neck anymore. So that's about to go down.
It looks that way.
Yes.
It looks that way.
Yes. I've been around for a minute. I'm half a century, you know what I'm saying? So it's very worse than it was even in the 60s right now. And it's 2020, which I never would thought that I'd be seeing right now at this level of same type of thought patterns that they had back in 1800s,
1920s, 1940s.
I mean, the most racist thoughts that they didn't think of was happening then. And it's back right now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma, WHGE 95.3 FM. Yaga! Travis, what's good? Yo, we just getting popping. You know what I mean? Well, we ain't really just getting popping. I'm just getting popping. Oh, man.
I think I got my camera right on. One of them anyway. I was working on it. Good morning, Sherry. Hey, Teresa. I see you. I know you watching, Teresa. All right. Hope you enjoying the show. All right. Let me get this here. got a new ad for WH for
Yeah, I
Dollar
got
Center for homeless vets. Pop that in.
I hear you. Yo, thanks for tuning in too, everybody. Representing WHGE 95.3, the Open Eye Radio Show. You dig? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new ad. That's the new ad.
I hear it. Sound like
I did the bass line on my keyboard.
it sound good. Yeah. And you only use the bass.
Yeah. The little drum.
It sound like yeah. Yo, what's happening, brother Slaughter? Us, everything good. We got the commercial going on for the radio. We doing two things: Facebook, you know what I'm saying, and the radio live show.
WHGE 95.3 FM, Nsoromma and Patrice right here with you.
Yaga.
Yes, indeed. Oh, it's some crazy stuff going on. This is
It is.
I got this one right
It's
here.
crazy out here.
Yeah, the orange disaster.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, he trying to do that Hitler thing. You know.
I mean, if you look at his whole campaign, it's all been surrounded around Hitler duplication.
Yeah. Yeah.
He duplicating everything that Hitler did.
Yep.
So, to this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta pay attention, man. When you
Yep.
ain't paying attention, it just look like he's doing crazy stuff. But it's not crazy stuff. It's strategically planned, manipulating tactics.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's trying to push Barr, the Attorney General, to prosecute
Biden.
his political foes. He's still trying to get Hillary locked up. He ain't got no charges. They ain't did no crime, right? But he's telling Barr, that these people, need to be, these people have committed crimes, and the greatest political crimes in the history of our country. And then we're going to get some little satisfaction. These people have to be indicted. This was the greatest political crime in the history of our country, and that includes Obama and it includes Biden.
Right.
Now, what was their crime? Their crime was calling the orange disaster the goddamn orange disaster that he is. That's the only crime.
Wow.
That's the only crime.
Wow.
And if this rhetoric sounds familiar, this is what we were saying earlier. Like my man said, these are tactics adopted from Hitler.
Right. These tactics are strategically put in place, man.
Right.
By high up people in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Trump
here's where it gets real crazy, bro.
Trump is the perfect grand dragon for the situation.
Ooh-wee, you got that right. That's what the orange disaster is. He is the perfect grand dragon. I don't know if you or a lot of people remember, but back in April, Trump said, liberate Michigan. We gotta liberate Michigan. Huh? Liberate Michigan? Oh yeah, they're making them wear their mask and this, that, the other. Well, some of these right-wing, white supremacist militias heard Trump and they listened. So the FBI has busted up a far right-wing malicious plan to kidnap the governor, the Democratic governor, Gretchen Whitmer, They was going to kidnap her. That was their plan. And guess what? One of these white militia fools is from Bear, Delaware.
I mean, how many people that you think they kidnapped already to shut them up?
But not a governor.
I mean,
Yeah, oh yeah,
it don't matter who it is. It don't matter. You can get got.
Yeah.
That's no matter how much money you got. None of
That's
that.
why I tell you, don't travel
if they want
alone.
you, they can get you.
Yeah.
Traveling alone by yourself, it don't matter. The type of money and the type of scale that can go on with this is levels to the game, man.
Yeah.
And I'm just the realist. That's what goes down.
Well,
it's levels, baby.
Yeah.
Anybody can get it.
Yeah. Well, a total of 13 men have been charged for their involvement in the alleged plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, NBC News reports. Man. According to state prosecutors, they've all been charged with providing material support for terrorist acts and carrying or possessing weapons during the commission of a felony. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said that the initial 6 men who were charged were part of the Wolverine Watchmen militia that looked to instigate a civil war and had engaged in planning and training for an operation to attack the Capitol building of Michigan and kidnap government officials, including the governor.
Wow. Now, did they get all of them, or it was just the 6 that they got?
Well, they got a total of 13 of them. Like I said, one of them from here.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You know?
So, it's an organization.
Oh, yeah.
It's about at least 70 to 100 and on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
Now, like I said, what are they doing? They're following marching orders. What I just said. Orange Disaster said, liberate Michigan.
Liberate Michigan.
They follow marching orders from the Orange Disaster. Now, if you or I get on here on the air and tell people, hey, liberate Wilmington.
I mean, you gotta look, like my brother said, brother Anthony, you know what I'm saying? Slaughter. He like they assassinated Gaddafi.
Mm-hmm.
They just out to get anybody that is trying to do and speak good for the color or people of color cause.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's messy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if no one sees the injustice and the lopsided Libra scale of this situation, they in denial.
They're in denial.
Period.
And like I said, if you or I sat over here on the radio and said, liberate Wilmington, and some people in Wilmington who listened to our show went out and started doing some things. And even if they didn't listen to our show and they went out and started doing some things, they will lock our ass up.
Right. They will be held we'll be held accountable.
That's right.
Because we are people of color.
Right.
And that's crazy because white people don't be held accountable for anything that they do that's so harsh. They try to get, look, I got pulled over and I'm getting treated through the ringer like I killed somebody. And a little white guy comes up, shoot 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and then he get treated like he ain't even do nothing. But look at the scales of that. And the president comes and try to save him and help him. Where was the president for me and my little teeny ticket for speeding or whatever? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so, it shouldn't be that blown out of proportion for me to be going through all of this for a little speeding ticket compared to a murder. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's the justice system in our situation is totally not for us.
You know, and as the news of the thwarted plot broke on Thursday, many of us quick to point out that the Orange Disaster said, liberate Michigan. Don't let that pass by.
Man,
because
say so much.
He's behind this. It was his retort that brought this about. Don't let that pass by. You know?
Now just think how fast Obama would have been out of office or locked up if he told all the black people to come together, pick up your guns, and let's go take this back. Let's get it. Now, what would that be about? He's saying, good boy, stand down and yo, don't be ready. Yeah, what kind? Who is he talking to?
Huh.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
talking to those white supremacists.
Right. He's not talking to us.
Hell no, he ain't talking to
Exactly.
us.
So we got to look at what this guy is trying to do to America, man. America is going to be in shambles.
Yeah.
And it's going to be another country come over here, and we're going to start talking Russian. It's not going to be even American language on our own land.
That's crazy, though. You know, and like I said, you know, with the Proud Boys, what was he told them? Stand by, stand down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stand by, stand down, stand ready.
Yep.
Hold your gun, hands on your guns.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, now
who is
he's already stated that if he loses the election, he's not accepting the results. So what's going to happen is the military going to have to roll up in there and drag him out of there, out of the White House? Because he already said he's not going to accept the results. So they're going to roll up in there and shut him down.
You got to think what we're dealing with here. I mean, he is a strategic orange disaster. You understand?
Yeah.
Now listen.
Yeah.
Now listen. Okay. You're doing all these mail-in ballots. Everybody trying to get them to mail in, and then they got postal workers that's throwing the ballots in the garbage. So, in turn, that's not going to be a correct count.
No.
From that, and it ain't even already it ain't even an election. It's already a miscalculated count for the simple fact you got 5 postal workers that threw it in the trash ballots. Okay, so it's already it's already a shaky deal. He ain't leaving right now. He already know that. He's telling you, I'm not leaving for the simple fact that the count is messed up. You mailing ballots and all this stuff. Yeah, I ain't getting the proper count that we need to get the calculated. And
of course, he is against mail-in ballots. He was definitely against that.
But he'd be the one to close the
He closed the post office.
Against that. Yeah. So what is the only other alternative to stop the mail-in ballots? Put some shamble into the post office. He actually tried to close the post office. To even stop him from even accepting the ballot. So you got to understand how deep this brother is. When you say disaster, that's a big word.
Yeah, that's almost putting it mildly.
He tears up a lot of stuff, yo. This boy right here, this president right here, I ain't seen nothing like it, man. And the debate was just ridiculous.
Oh, it was.
Yo, I mean.
You know, now, like I said earlier, before you got in, was that the vice presidential debate between Pence and Kamala Harris was, for the most part, it was kind of boring.
They all boring because they ain't talking about nothing that matters to the people that matter.
Right.
They talking about stuff that they plan on doing for the future of, if we be here or not. We don't know nothing. We need it now. And no one's talking now.
No, they're not. No, they're not. You know, and like I said, for the most part, it was boring. It was boring. Though she did hit this point about him stacking the appellate courts and what have you. And this is one of the reasons that I say you got to get out here. And the day, by the way, is the last day to register to vote. And if you close by, within earshot of our radio show right now, right up the street, right here, we're on 9th and Pine.
Yeah.
Right between Pine, what's that? Pine and Lombard on 9th Street. There's some village queens out there that will register you to vote today. So if you haven't done so, come on around here and get it done. And get it done. And see, back to the main topic of what we were talking about. Us being targeted. What we need to understand and what we haven't understood and why Nsoromma and I do what we do.
Right.
Is the power of information. Thank you, Brother Hussein, for pointing that out. Because we don't understand how to use propaganda. And when a targeted population is continually criminalized and dehumanized in the media, this makes killing them appear as justifiable. It's psychological warfare as well. The tactic is called manufactured consent. White supremacy is at war with black people, and they use their media to facilitate this white supremacy agenda.
Most definitely.
Understand that.
And the thing about it is black people in the military that refuse to fill the same situation, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't stop racism.
No.
It's because it's everywhere.
That's right.
And no matter what, you always have a bad apple in whatever it may be. So you have to clean the apples out. But a lot of organizations don't really clean their fruit properly.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, even in the supermarket, you find some full fruit sometimes because they just don't get around to doing it.
Right.
Now, depending on what supermarket you go to, that's where you get your better, you know, fruit. But who knows? These police stations and these governments, who's in there? It's always the hierarchy chain is so serious. It's, you know, you'll never be able to really clean it properly.
You know, and see that's part of the thing. As I was saying about how we falsify our own history. You know, even with like when the crime bill, the '94 crime bill, was supported by a lot of black people that thought that we needed to do this in our own communities. Now they look up at his mass incarceration. You know?
Because that's a corporation they run.
Yeah.
The prison is the right hand to the government.
Of course.
And that's like the bread and butter of the government.
You know what?
When these taxpayers go ahead.
You on the case on that. Because you know what? Now here, the prisons aren't privatized. But in places where they are privatized, you know that how they decide where they're going to build, and they start kicking us out early. They look at third grade reading levels. And if the third grade reading levels are lacking, they start building prisons in that area.
Yeah.
All right. They start looking at third graders because they have determined that these people are going to be subjugated as far as their education goes. Lack of education, lack of knowledge leads to poverty. Poverty leads to crime. Crime leads to violence. Violence gets your ass locked up.
And the most important, the structure of gentrification is being set in order. That's what's going down.
That's what's going down.
That's what that's called. You know what I'm saying? When you set up particular people and know at 20 years from now we're gonna have them locked up and we're gonna be making money off of them, putting railroads up.
Right.
And you already got their plan out. They don't even know. They think they're going to be whatever you can be. Right. They get the teachers is going, listen, you can be whatever you want to be in school, and don't let no one stop you from doing this and doing that. But yet they think they still have a dream. Right. And that's only what it is. It's only a dream.
Because the slightest transgression will get you expelled from school.
Right, you already put in a situation to not make it anyway. Your books you're getting is 4 years behind the regular schools and the other schools that's not privatized. So you already taking an L from the gate.
From the gate.
Yeah. So I mean, the information you getting is late information. So you 10 and 5 years behind the information that is going on right now. So you're irrelevant still.
See, and you know what? It makes me think of what Richard Pryor said. Yeah. And put you in a position where you can't do nothing, and then say, "See, what? Yeah,
but that's it though.
That's it though. I mean, and see, breaking that down, what they have convinced the world is prophecy is nothing but long-range planning, and that's what we need to get hip to.
And we need to start making our own long-range planning without the fact of needing anything from them, because we can stand up on our own 2 feet and we can live and prosper on this planet, because it's a big planet out here. I mean, I don't live in America. I live on the planet. And it's a planet, the Earth. That's where I live at.
And you know what? Now, here's something else. In our own communities, with each other. All right? And I'm not talking about the shootings and the murders.
Right.
I'm talking about the microaggressions that we practice against each other. Because I get way too many of these as a businessman. Look, brother, if you can't give me a break on the price, I'll be forced to go around the corner and pay the white man the full price. He'll do a better job anyway. Well, you know what? It's been nice me knowing you. You need directions? Because I will give your ass directions. Get the hell away from me. Have a nice day. And I always cheerfully send these people on their way. I never let them know how deeply it saddens me that black people still believe we don't know as much as the white man or won't do as good as job, that we are inferior, so don't deserve the same pay or respect as whites. I would expect as much from a Klansman.
I mean, the power of manipulation is serious.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the whole history of this time, we've been manipulated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't go to him,
Yeah.
go there. Don't go there, go there.
Yeah.
I mean, they do that with everybody to make the yin and the yang work, to make the cycle spin. So, and again, as long as we know that, okay, our cycle's spinning on this side, and we stand on our side of the spin of the cycle, and they stay on their side of the spin of the cycle, and it still will be the yin and the yang. But they trying to come over here and own your food and your plate,
Right?
and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell you to put this shirt on. Nah, we human beings, and we got our own independent thinking, and they trying to stop that.
Yeah.
They trying to make it you can see it. Everybody need a mask now. I remember when he was saying it's fake. Now look, he got it. Also, host, don't worry about it. It'll be gone, and it just disappeared when he did. I mean, all of these lies, he got over like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 lies since he been in office. That's counted, and that you can see.
Right.
I mean,
you know,
on,
and
man.
we, like I said, you know, we listen to the beginning of the show. The chains of indoctrination are difficult to remove from our mind. But we cannot continue to labor under this. We have to stop. You know what? Okay, sister, I put up a post about how I think in Norway, the cops have not killed somebody in 10 years.
Right, I seen that.
Right? And the sister asked, well, how many brown people are there?
None.
But,
Five out of 40,000 people.
You didn't ask how many black people were there. Okay? You caught up in that we're not black thing. That ideal that you have allowed them to make black so distasteful that you won't say that about yourself. You back off of that. You back off of our Africanness. You separate yourself into another clique, and that's another thing. We go into our cliques. The Baptists can't work with the Methodists or the Muslim, or the NAACP can't work with CORE, or the bourgeois black middle class can't work with grassroots people like ourselves.
Right.
And we broke it up, and so many splitters. 3 brothers can't get together and buy a loaf of bread because 2 want the heel, and none of them eat the goddamn heel. What is wrong with y'all? How much longer can we label under this self-hatred? When will we stop allowing Webster and others to define who we are? We're so confused we can't even decide what to call ourselves. Black Americans, Afro-Americans, where's the land of Afro?
No, my thing is this. When they say, yo, what's your bloodline, what's your nationality, black is not that.
Well, my nationality where I live,
is not a bloodline.
Your nationality is where you live now. So nationally, you know, I'm nationally, I'm in America. All right, but like we said, I'm a world citizen. I live on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, call ourselves Negroid, Asiatic, Afrocentric, Nubian, Afro-Americans, or whatever the hell it is this week. And the list goes on. We're not Afro-Americans or South Americans or Congolese or Nigerian or Ethiopian or any of these. Being the first people on the earth, we are indigenous to the entire planet. We are world citizens. Simply stated, we're black, and too many of us can't learn to love that, and that's what I don't like about us.
Right. Love yourself.
Man.
That's the only way you can love other people anyway.
That's word. Well, brother, as usual, the hour goes by fast.
I know, man.
Yeah, so I got started a little late, so we went a little over time, but you know, WHGE don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's word. You know. Well, like I always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
This is WHGE.
Open Eye Radio Show. Yaga!
See you next week.
Mr. Widow, what's good? Hey, yo, what's good? What's good? I know, man. Trump lying. You know that. He ain't sick or none of that. He gonna do that to get everybody that he'll say I'm cured, and then he'll make everybody in America go get the needle, and his boy got the company, and then he'll get some of the profit of the needle. I mean, you know, it's a big business, you know what I mean? Yo, Island Gas! Yaga! Yeah, yo, we finish it up now.
All right.
Yo, let's link up, you know what I mean? What? Yo, Pat, you said peace?
I'm saying